I'm Stephen Mayne, welcome to the Mayne Report. Now I've long been a media tart of the first order, but Wednesday, March the 4th, 2009 is going to go down as a day that even Eddie Everywhere Maguire couldn't match. It all started off at 7:45 in the morning with the Triple R Radio Breakfasters crew. This is how they opened it up.
These are turbulent times, big global economic crisis, things afoot. So where better to go but Manningham Council to speak to one of the councillors there to find out more about what's happening on a grand scale. We are, of course, speaking to Stephen Mayne, author of the Mayne Report and general all-round corporate guru and troublemaker. Morning, Stephen.
Good morning. I have to say I'm a hard-working councillor. I'm doing 40 hours a week out there.
Oh, surely that's cramping your style.
It's about $2 an hour. They really work their councillors hard, I tell you. I go straight from you guys to a 3-hour tour of the electorate.
For a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour.
I got home from the electorate tour to discover messages from both Channel 9's A Current Affair and Channel 7's Today Tonight. They both wanted me to do interviews for that night's program. What do you do? Do you be a media tart? Do you double dip? Do you tell one and not the other? Do you play favourites? What to do?
Here, Dad, have some more tarts.
Well, there it is. Looks like I'm being a media tart. So we mapped out the afternoon, and it all began at 2:30 at Channel 9 in Richmond. This is what finally went to air that night in a story about fallen Billabong CEO Matthew Perrin.
Well, it's all about ego. Once you've made your first 100 million, most people will just sit back and relax and enjoy it and not risk the fortune.
Stephen Mayne from the Mayne Report expects an avalanche of high-profile rich listers to fall off the cliff this year.
It's all about keeping up with the Joneses and being as rich as the next bloke, and that's what drives a lot of these rich people.
But there's more.
After that, it was down to Docklands and Channel 7 at 4 o'clock for some hard-hitting comments about Pixie Skase, who Channel 7 had scored some exclusive footage of coming back to Australia that morning.
Stephen Mayne covered the rise and fall of the Skase empire.
Just as Alan Bond's former wife, is worth well over $10 million with houses in Sydney and London and Perth, Pixie Skase equally has been living a life of luxury, and it's very, very cheeky to come back to Melbourne and buy again in Toorak.
Because no one ever faced the consequences for such a large corporate collapse, Mayne believes Pixie, who's been reinstated as an Australian citizen, should be forced to face an inquiry to help investigators recover the missing billions.
Given the $2 billion lost, it is time that someone from the Skase empire, and Pixie's the best person available, to front up, say sorry and explain where the money went and what happened.
And also to explain where the money to buy her new house in Toorak has come from.
A lot of people lost a huge amount of money, and Pixie Skase is still living it up as if nothing ever happened.
But there's still more.
After finishing up with Today Tonight's Jonathan Creek, who was a Manningham constituent by the way, it was down to ABC Radio at Southgate at 5:40 p.m. for the regular weekly discussion with Drive presenter Lindy Burns. I ended up having quite a go at the Murdoch press for their hypocrisy in the attacks on Pacific Brand CEO Sue Morfitt.
It was actually the previous CEO, Paul Moore, who received the, in my view, outrageous payments. And then, I thought it was a bit rich, front page of the Herald Sun, this is a bit rich and all those numbers. And there's Rupert Murdoch sailing along on $30 million a year. He hasn't taken a pay cut yet. And I thought very interesting to see Terry McCran in the Herald Sun very much attacking his own paper's position, saying it was, quote, outrageously, that Sue Morfitt was outrageously and unfairly hunted by the media.
Well, I finally got home at about 7 p.m. after that extraordinary media tart road trip. And I thought I'd pick up my local paper, the Manningham Leader, see what they were saying about Manningham Council affairs. Lo and behold, on page 3, we get the story, Pink Peril Saved. I'm quoted in the 4th paragraph.
But I know you want more.
And the final piece of the media tart pie today was on page 7 of the local paper, Here it is. Salary levels exposed is the story. What happened is these outrageous emails were flying around accusing our executive team of having big pay rises. Truth be known, the CEO, Lydia Wilson, has actually cut $360,000 out of the cost of the executive team since December 2006. So I was quoted as follows. Councillor Mayne said the council had a very good story to tell in terms of cost savings, so the facts should be readily available. Quote, as with public companies, being open with information about executive salaries is the best way to avoid misinterpretation. So there it is. Stephen Mayne defending executive pay. Has the world gone entirely mad? I'm Stephen Mayne. We'll see you next week.